You guys, if you like any of the products you're about to see in the upcoming product review videos, you can head on over to the company's website at auxbeam.com. That's AUXBAM.com. If you're interested in trying some of their products out for free, the company will actually send you free samples. All you have to do is go to amz.auxbeam.com. I'll put the link down in the description. You sign up, you apply for the free sample, and basically all they ask for in return, if you get selected, is you have to do an unbiased review of the product that you ask for. They usually have a bunch of different choices, from light bars to headlights to into standalone lights, off-road lights, and there's a decent amount of stuff there to pick from. All you got to do is give them a review, a little bit of your time, and they will let you keep the lights for free. So head on over there and check that out. And in the meantime, enjoy the reviews. Okay, we're going to try this unboxing thing again. Do a little different angle. Unfortunately, what I did was took all my footage at the same time before I reviewed it, and my schedule is so crazy, like I just don't have time anymore. I just been having less and less time to work on stuff like this. So after I shot the video, I immediately ran outside and put the lights in. So there was no redoing it after I realized how terrible it was. So we're going to do a top-down situation here. I think it'll work better. So by now you would have possibly, hopefully, have seen my other videos reviewing the Auxbeam headlights, and I've been living with the H13, the F-16 series bulbs for a couple weeks now, a few weeks. We actually went to the shore. We drove at nighttime, and I had no problem seeing, especially after I re-aimed the headlights and rotated the bulbs. Such a big difference. It just, I'm sure most of the lights that use an H13 bulb have a shroud, an internal shroud that kind of, has a little post that comes off the light reflector and a little shroud that covers the end of the bulb. One of the LEDs, one side of that whole LED was being blocked by that. So once I turned it so that the LEDs were firing straight out, it made a big difference. Still not perfect, but a big difference. And aiming them is it's paramount to making them work. So I also had an issue with getting a warning saying my bulbs were out. And I thought that those were CAN bus compatible, which they are, but apparently some vehicles, they still have that issue. So Auxbeam told me, hey, we have a new series coming out that works with luxury vehicles, and it should solve your your light out warning, and also should have a little bit more oomph. Should be, brighter, should have more better beam pattern, and also you can rotate them. So we're going to take a look at those real quick here, and then install them and see how they work. These are I've seen these in some of the reviews, and I was actually expecting something more along the lines of this when I had gotten the other ones, but these are the F-S3 series, 72 watt, 8,000 lumen, and they're going to look a little bit different. You get a instruction manual instead of a card. You get a little Allen key for adjusting the lights, which is really nice. And here are the lights. Right off the bat, the thing that I noticed was there's no driver box. No little box. The other thing I noticed right off the bat was these are shaped like a triangle. You've got 6, and I can't remember what these things are called. They're SMD, I think, though. SMD style, which I think a lot of LED light manufacturers have kind of stayed away from them, but now that they've got the technology down, it is a lot more light in a smaller package, smaller footprint. So we're going to give them a try. Now, one thing I noticed also was that these 6 and these 6 are the same distance away, and then this set is down further. So I don't know. I'm assuming that that's going to be low beam, high beam then. Don't know. Going to have to fire them up and try. I do have a little harness laying around here so we can try it. But there is one single screw right there that holds the ring in place, and you'll notice that there are holes all the way around this thing. I truly believe that in order to make an LED work in a halogen housing, and I still am of the camp that yes, it would probably work better in a projector housing set up for LED, but being able to rotate the light should help eliminate glare and get you the good beam pattern that you need. This one is not an H4 bulb with a conversion. This is a only for H13 plug. It is still fan cooled. I'm going to assume that there's some electronics in there versus, you know, having the external box, but overall the package, I like the package a little bit better. So now that we've looked at the bulb, let's just go ahead and plug it in and just see what we got here. I haven't actually fired it up yet. This is actually a headlight harness out of the Explorer. Junkyard picked it because mine were all chopped up, if you remember from any of my other videos. It's a wiring disaster. So we're going to do this one a little bit differently than the other one. I don't have a nice switch set up for this. I have my pinout written here on the desktop, and we're just going to clip wires to it and go to town. So this blue wire is low beam. Okay, all right, we should be live. I'm going to do my best not to look at the light because I do it every time and it blinds me. And it is bright. And just to confirm, it looks like the one that sits lower must be the high beam. So we're going to have to take that into consideration when we actually try to aim this thing. But man, let me tell you, that sucker is killer. It is bright. Fans ramping up. And you know, something else I noticed about these things, it is putting off some heat. A lot of people say, oh, well, you don't have a halogen bulb in there. How are you going to melt ice and stuff in the winter? That thing's putting off some heat. There's a reason there's a heat sink on there. It's got some heat to it, so it might do something. I don't know. So let's go ahead and switch it to high beam and see if we get that other light. There it is. All three sides. And I'll tell you what, as I'm rotating it, you can kind of see some lines on the desk there, but that's about as close to 360-degree light output as you're going to get. And the fan also doesn't really slow down as much as on the other lights when you kick in high beam either. So that's kind of interesting. So turn that off. Whew, man. Get this out of here. So we're going to give this a try and see how well they work. Not quite sure how to go about the whole aiming thing. I guess I'll just take that out, and I think that's why they give you these thumb tabs, which again is super smart. Yes, it will help you turn it in when the bulb's in there, but also you could remove the light and install this ring in the light, you know, in the light socket, and then you can kind of slip this in, turn your headlights on, and then freely rotate it till you get it how you want it, and then you can check and see which hole it lines up with. That's pretty smart. The other lights was a little difficult to do that because there was nothing there to grab a hold and actually turn it, so I had to fiddle with it. But so this is the F-S3 series from Auxbeam. We're going to see how this works. I'm thinking these are going to work better. Having three sides. The only thing I don't know about, again, is that little shroud that I have. I don't know how to work around that. I'm going to install these, and I will give you a little bit of a results video on that after we try this one out. But so far, I like them. They look good. Okay, I'm outside with the new headlights, and it's going to be really hard to tell. But that's the new one, and then this is the previous. You can kind of see how up here there's a little bit of weird light, and it kind of, I don't know, the way it's shaped is kind of goofy. And if you look at this one, you notice that it's got like a lot of light down here, kind of like a spot, but there's nothing really up here. Like there's no weird glare. Now I haven't adjusted it yet. but I think it's pretty good. I mean, that tape line is my, you know, my proper alignment. It's below that. So what I did is I flipped it. Right now, the triangular bulb in there, both lit side is facing up. And now you can see that shroud I've been talking about. What I did was I turned it on, it's the lock screws out of it, and I rotated it. And actually, if you rotate it while it's on, you'll see the beam go from concentrated to like that, and then back to concentrated again. When you flip the bulb 180 degrees, it comes back together. The problem with 180 degrees is the two lit sides are now facing down, and the high beam lights are facing up. And when you flick your high beams on, it actually produces light below your low beam because of how reflectors work. It's flip-flopped. So really, I think that's the only way to do it. So we're gonna just install them straight up and re-aim them. I mean, you can see from different angles, like this side's obviously brighter now. Kind of depends on how I'm standing. And that bulb's not, it's not plugged in yet. It's not picking it up, but you can even tell on this side, like, my phone's really killing it right now, but see how that looks yellow? That's the reflection from the LED housing. That actually looks like that from back here, but you can't. The phone gets bled out. There's just not, light isn't going in the right spot. On this side though, you don't see any of that. It's light coming out just where it needs to. The whole reflector is lit up nice. There's no yellow, and I know these are disgusting. They should be replaced, but so I think the new series bulbs are definitely the ticket. Yeah, you can see it once I kind of like put some shadow on it. There's a lot more light. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch both sides out, and then we'll do a little driving comparison. Okay, here's the final installation. Got them aimed a little lower just because there's a tiny bit of light right there. Just don't want to blind anybody, but they're pretty freaking bright. I mean, this is 25 feet away, and the camera's obviously making them look worse than they are. They're not blinding. I can comfortably look that way and don't have to squint. A couple of things I want to note. First of all, I'm still getting CAN bus warnings for both headlamps and high beams. Left and right headlamp, left and right high beam. Which I'm slightly annoyed about because they said that these would fix that problem. Second of all, high beams, okay, you see the light that comes out of that? That I don't think is going to actually do a whole lot. And I think the problem is it's these shrouds in here. See, the arm for the shroud is blocking that entire high beam, and even when I tried to rotate them slightly so that they, you know, weren't blocked by it, doesn't work. That's just how they like to be situated in there to produce a good low beam. So it's kind of like you either got to maybe take those shrouds out, or that's just the part of putting LEDs into a halogen housing. You're just not going to have, you know, you're not going to have your cake and eat it too. So what's next? I'm going to take it for a drive, you know, just to see. So far I do like these better. They're quieter too. I don't even know if you can hear it. Just barely. They're so much quieter than the other ones. So I'm going to take it for a drive and see what happens, but I'm going to definitely contact them because I don't want warning lights. I mean, on my truck I can just push the reset button 4 times and then it goes away, but I don't want to have to do that. These things they should be CAN bus. So, and there it is with the fog lights on. So they could probably be adjusted a tiny bit too. Anyways, stay tuned for the driving test. Okay, so this is the F-S3 bulbs. I still think I need some aiming, but holy mackerel, are they bright. They are way, way brighter than the F-16. I don't know about brighter, they work very, very well. I'm probably going to want to aim them up just a hair. I haven't actually done like a really good aiming yet, but you can see in the other video when I have just low beams on. Now, I'm using a different camera, but it doesn't matter. These things are bright. I don't have my fogs on. Here's my fogs. That's with my fog lights on. Wow. Okay. I'm happy with these. I don't even care that I'm getting bulb warnings. These things are pretty nice. Now, you're, you know, just looking in the camera there, you can see where the most intense light is. It's kind of not that far in front of the car, but I can tell you that the camera's not really picking up how far I can actually see. I mean, look, the stop sign's illuminated. There's cars down the street here that I can see that you can't really see. So they do work pretty good. Oh man, all right, let's turn high beams on and see if they work. So I am, again, with the other lights, I am getting a little bit of a high beam. But to be honest with you, because the fog lights turn off, it's actually kind of seems like less light. I don't really think the high beams are really worth much. Let's just pull over. Those are just low beams now. I'm gonna put on high beams. You can kind of see a little bit further if you look over there underneath the stop sign. But I'll be honest with you, I think it's actually causing the low beams to dim a little. Yeah, I'm just not happy with those high beams, but the low beams are fantastic. I really like those. So there you go, the F-S3 by Auxbeam. Good stuff.